Hello everyone, today I'm looking at The Binding of Isaac. I really hate to say this kind of, but I love this game. It is really addicting and really fun, and the reason I hate to say that is because it's so bloody simple. And there's no major story. There's just, the only story is that, Isaac is this boy who is the son of a fundamentalist Christian mom who watches too much daytime American television about, evangelists. And so basically she assumes that Isaac needs to be punished, and she puts him basically in the basement as punishment to make sure he doesn't sin or whatever. And so you just start playing this game, and again, the game is super simple. It's basically a very glorified Flash game where essentially you just have Isaac and he just shoots tears in any direction, and so it's just one of these directional shooter games, but it's done in the style of a roguelike. And so that was kind of new for the time, and it's just done super well, to the extent where, you go through a bunch of semi-random generated rooms. Each floor, however, has its own kind of theme and its own kind of enemy types, and so it has some level of predictability, but there's always that level of unpredictability where you can pick up certain attachments or upgrades to Isaac that gives him essentially special powers, so you'll get things that will allow him to essentially do things like, shoot 2 bullets at once, shoot faster bullets, slower bullets, poison bullets, elliptical bullets, bullets that phase through walls. Every time you get hit, you release stinky gas, or every time you get hit, you actually, get an extra bomb or something. There's so many multipliers and different things in this game that are just absolutely crazy. There's things like blue iron hearts, where they're like temporary hearts where they don't regenerate and you can't heal them back. Honestly, healing back hearts is like the main aspect of this game, and there's only a few floors to the final boss, but like it's really hard to get there. And when you get on a good run and you get a really good, output or upgrades or perks, because it's all random, you don't want to lose, and because you don't want to lose, you kind of like hold on to that thing that, oh, this is going to be it, this is going to be the one. But yeah, it's really it's really addictive. And again, the gameplay is just very responsive, and I remember when I started playing this game, I played it solid for like a week. Like it was my go-to game where you could pick it up and play a couple rounds and then just immediately quit and go to something else, and it just felt so good to play through. And again, it was so addictive because it was so fast. You get so many different kinds of options. And again, I think this game almost needs to be studied because of how like good it is and how fast paced it is, and how replayable it really is. I've never played a more replayable game maybe in my whole life. And yeah, and it has this really gross aesthetic where there's like poo and like the basement, and like I don't care. And usually that stuff, I really hate ugly stuff, but it really does not matter to me, and it just works. It's just a highly addictive game. And because, you get all these random things that multiply the gameplay, some of them help you, most of them, to do some kind of multiplier. And while the game itself is very difficult and is very kind of unfair, it gives you the options to also be equally unfair. And so it really is this great struggle between the gamer and the game. And so now we see a phenomena of lots of roguelikes, popping up here and there, but none of them were able to really have the impact of this game. And even a lot of roguelikes that I've played in recent memory, none of them have been nearly as good as this game. And so the basic strategy you kind of want to go to is you want to be able to kind of explore as many rooms as you can and save your keys for the end of the game. or the end of the floor rather, because once you find the boss room, it's not moving, but there's certain areas and places that you can go to where you can find certain things. Usually every floor will also have a kind of free upgrade, so you want to find that room and be able to get the major upgrade that's going to determine how you are going to play the rest of this run. So if you get a movement increase, for example, then it's going to be like, okay, I'm going to focus on stuff that benefits that. And if you get more of a damage increase and you're focused on your tiers, if you get a certain, whatever, you're going to prioritize getting certain upgrades. And sometimes you'll get a combination of upgrades you don't think is good, but actually do work really, really well. Also, again, the bosses are semi-random. Again, for each floor, you can have a combination of 2 or 3 different bosses, and each of them are pretty, flex to the difficulty of that room, but for the most part, you kind of know what to expect, but it is still semi-random. You also have an alternative attack power that you can pick up. And again, the way this game is made, it is just so much fun. It is really, really cool. It has lots of achievements, and of course, in a typical roguelike fashion, every single time you play the game, you unlock more and new perks to get every time you do a different run. There are also things where you can make bargains, like in the Lucifer room, where basically you can exchange your hearts for a different, contract, or an increased power. And really that's how I think you beat most of these levels, because they are extremely difficult, and so the more unfair things you can get, the more cool things you can use against the game, essentially. Again, it's just so cool to see how the game can modify you in unexpected ways. And this is a very simple arcade game, like I said, but it's just done really, really well. And of course, each upgrade you get will make Isaac usually more ugly, or it will modify his appearance in some way. And again, some of them are really cool, and some of them are really creepy and bad. But again, it puts you right back to the beginning as soon as you lose, so you can immediately get back into the action and check out the next big thing. So it's a game that's constantly multiplying and adapting, and so it feels alive in a way, is I think how it really feels to the player. Another thing that also I've noticed is that there are also sort of mini boss rooms based off the 7 deadly sins. You also can play as other characters and unlock them, and they have certain upgrades and techniques. And I guess they're all based on biblical names too. And it's very kind of, nothing nuanced at all, just very kind of surface level stuff. One of the main powers, again, that you can only get through I think one of the demon packs, is the ability to float. And so that comes in a lot of use when you're able to there's certain treasure chests and items that are always just out of reach, and a lot of them just require the floating ability, so it's very useful. Also, you get a series of tarot cards throughout the game, and those can be activated with the queue, and they each have a different effect. And honestly, I tend to always forget what they do. A lot of them are very straightforward, like death is always an ultra kill, it kills everything on screen. But then there's things like, the lovers, I think that just gives you a heart, but it has the full tarot set, so I honestly don't even remember everything, and it's really hard to, honestly. But yeah, all these enemies have a different kind of behavior and pattern, and while the game is very simple, it does it to its benefit, essentially. Again, the sound effects also help the game, with its kind of gross kind of nature, but really feel and bring, the enemies and your actions alive. And of course, you also have bombs, which you can use to place down on the, in the area, which will, of course, do damage to lots of enemies, but in more of a Legend of Zelda style fashion, they will also reveal a lot of hidden places on the map and hidden passageways that will lead you again to more perks that will give you the ability to unlock more and more stuff. Anyway, I think there's a lot I can say about this game. I know there's Binding of Isaac Rebirth and the Special Edition. I haven't played that yet, so I don't know what that's like, but I can tell you the base edition is more than enough fun to really get into this extremely weird, bizarre, and also extremely addicting game. I've never played a game that was this addicting, but it really, really is super duper addicting, and I love it. Anyway, guys, that's all I have to say for now about this game. Definitely a classic Flash game, from the creators of Newgrounds and whatnot. And yeah, not much else to say about it. Really great stuff. I'll see you guys later. Bye.